Hello there, I'm Dharmesh from Dreamtek. I'm a Google Hangout specialist, and today our show is all about how to do a Hangout like a pro. So you may be familiar with a Google Hangout. If you're not, I've got my definition here. A Google Hangout is a multi-way live video feature within Google+. It's available free to any individual or Google+ brand page, and it allows up to 10 people to communicate via video. Hangouts can also be broadcast live or recorded as live and distributed at a later date. So it allows 10 people anywhere in the world with a web connection and a webcam to hang out, which is brilliant, and we've seen lots and lots of people use it personally, and also brands and well-known individuals are getting involved as well. Now this is where the pro hangout comes in, because yeah, it's fine if you're just having a chat with your friend at home, but if you're a brand or you've got you're an individual that wants to hold an event using a hangout, people are now using the hangout professionally, and that's what we're talking about today, the pro hangout. We're talking about pro marketing, pro production values, and using professional technology and integrating it. And that's what Dreamtek do. So Dreamtek are a production company, video technologists. I'm in the YouTube creator space right now, which is a studio we were lucky enough to help build. And we've also partnered with Google Hangouts to create professional Hangouts. So I've got a few other people joining me today that have got their own knowledge on holding Hangouts, professional and otherwise. So I'll just do a quick roll call. I've got Kashan Bhatt, who's our engineer, and has worked really closely with a lot of the professional Hangouts and created the Hangout box.
Hey guys.
Hey, how you doing?
All good, thanks.
Good.
Just managed to get in time, actually.
Good stuff. I've got Patrick Drake, who is head chef at HelloFresh, which is a really interesting grocery company. How are you doing, Patrick?
Very well, very well.
Excellent. I've got Josh Landy, who's a producer at one of the Sky multi-channel sports, Sports Tonight Live. How are you doing, Josh?
Well, Arsenal could be doing better, but that aside, we're all good.
Excellent. And I've also got Ryan Skinner, who is account director at marketing content agency Velocity Partners. How are you doing?
I'm good, Dharmesh.
Excellent, excellent. So I'm just going to go through one of the things I thought would be a really good thing to do would be to show everyone what I see as a pro hangout and the difference between, you know, a typical hangout that you produce. Okay, so one that's just happened really recently is President Obama has just decided to do his second hangout, a fireside hangout in 2013. And what we're going to do is we're just going to play that clip now for you and show you what the differences are with a hangout that's a pro hangout.
My fellow Americans,
I seek to look beyond the doors of the White House into the hopes and fears of men and women in their homes. Our capacity is limited only by our ability to work together. I am determined to do my share. Now, it is your turn.
You can see that instead of just doing a live hangout, they've put a little bit of motion graphics in there to describe and give you an idea of what's coming up and what's going to entail. They've done a bit of animation, integrating a Google search. They've got a moderator, a professional presenter in there, and the camera qualities are a lot more high definition. They're using pro cameras, and that's something that you can do with a company like Dreamtek, or you know, if you just want to use a few kind of tips around technology, you know, that's something that we're going to cover off today and just show you how to improve that. So the three facets of a pro hangout is marketing, production, and technology. Now, marketing is a big part of it, and I think the question you need to ask yourself is, why am I holding a hangout for my brand or for my event? Why do I want to do it? And I would say the two reasons to have a hangout is you want to, you know, bring together a collection of people from the disparate areas, so they can't all be together in a room. So you're going to use the power of Hangouts to get them together. And the other thing is, it is a spontaneous chat. You know, it's something, even if it's pre-recorded and you're watching it on demand, or if it's going out live, it's not kind of a scripted event. It's something that, you know, anyone can kind of chip in on. Ryan, you just had a hangout, and you know, you're you're a marketing company. Do you want to tell us how you sort of generated some interest in your Hangout? And I think you got quite a good response when you put on your first Hangout.
Thanks, Dharmesh. I think we had some success. We basically just tried to copy people that we'd seen who'd done it well. We set up an event page in Google Plus and invited all our followers there. We set up an event page on Eventbrite and emailed out about 300 plus emails to contacts. And then in both places, we had things very clearly branded. We developed some special graphics to go with the Hangout to draw attention to it. We had invited 5 panelists who are all relatively influential in their fields, so they had their own followers to invite to the Hangout. We blogged about the event. We encouraged the other panelists to blog about the event. We developed posters to send about the event, and also kind of individual posters with each of the panelists that they could use, they could share in their Twitter streams or on their blog or where have you. So we promoted it like this for about, I think about 2 or 3 weeks. We ended up with about 150 people registered, which was pretty good considering our niche, which is pretty tight. And then we got maybe about half of them to actually watch it live. And I think we've had about 2 or 3 times that then watch it recorded afterwards. So as far as promotion goes, it's up to your imagination as a marketer. You could probably, we didn't do it, but you could potentially do something involving rewards for inviting other people. You could do some guest posting on some influential blogs. You could even start talking about syndication. There's probably a lot of different websites that are happy to get great rich video with influential people. So those are all ways that we try to promote our Hangout.
And Josh, you've got a little bit of a different situation with your Hangouts. You're using Hangouts on a weekly basis, and you've got you're integrating into your program. Sort of, how do the message of Hangouts and the Google Plus page, how have you sort of promoted that within Sports Tonight Live?
For us, it's really been a case of actually having it quite scripted into our program, in the sense that we've used it mainly to invite set people that we want to set up communication with during particularly our Saturday program, when we've got various people all around the world who we want to connect with at, during a Saturday afternoon of football. They're keeping us up to date on a huge amount of information and different sporting events taking place. I'd say it's been a real find for us, allowing sort of people, we don't know where the story will be. That's the beauty of sport. You don't know what's going to happen, so you need a sizable amount of people available immediately, and that's where Hangouts really been very positive for us, because in a matter of seconds, of a goal going in for us, it's we've got someone to tell us what's going on, rather than sort of having to sort of individually dial people up. Everyone can be in one central place for us, and that's the major plus for us.
You've got quite a big following on Google Plus as well, haven't you?
Yeah, it's been great for that, to then integrate people who want to then come in on topics that are being discussed sort of at other points during the week. They're able to join the conversation, and particularly if we want to post our video highlights out of the show, we can get some contacts and other people maybe to post our videos around on Google Plus. Certainly though, for us, it's mainly been a sort of Saturday show where we've got this beauty of having so many different people around the world able to sort of join a circle and give us information and keep us updated.
And do you think people recognise the Hangout now? They know it as kind of a universal brand, or do you kind of have to explain that kind of concept to them?
Again, I don't think it's as well known sort of as Skype. I don't think you could say that, and I think people may be a little bit unsure about it at first. Once they've used it, though, I think in fairness they pretty quite like it and they understand it, and very easy to get them on board once they've used it. It's obviously just that initial setting up stage where people are trying to understand what it is and how it's a bit different and what the benefits are. But as soon as you've got past that, then I think people are very keen. Yeah.
And I've got a question for Patrick. So Patrick, I think yours was quite interesting in that about social media, and you've got a big Twitter following and a big YouTube channel following, and you obviously were really good at promoting it, but you kind of had a two-pronged attack in that you did a hangout that was all about live, cooking along live, which is quite an interesting idea, getting people to experience a live, actual activity. But with yours, I thought there was a side that on one hand it was a hangout that was an experience for your 8 followers who joined you there, but then it was also a really popular video on your YouTube channel. So do you think it was a bigger success on one side or the other?
Well, I think no doubt it was a bigger success afterwards, in the sense that we promoted the video that we created in that hangout, and it was a really lovely video. I mean, it was cut really well, and you could follow this whole story of this recipe that we were developing. I mean, for background information for the rest of the people on this hangout, basically what we do as a company is send recipes all around the UK with a chilled box of the exact fresh ingredients you need to cook the recipe. So the Google Hangout was great for us because it meant that we could send all of these recipes around the country. In fact, we sent the same recipe on this occasion to people all around the UK. And then from our development kitchen, I could teach all of these people how to cook that recipe. And it was an incredible thing. I could, to be able to look into my computer and say, Susan, you need to add a bit more creme fraiche into that pan, and watch it, Pete, that's about to burn. And yet Pete is in Scotland and Susan's in Torquay, is just the most crazy thing. I mean, it's like the future is now.
I think that the other thing that was really, interesting in that is, yes, absolutely, as an on-demand product. And I think people maybe forget that, Hangout, the on-demand element is actually a really popular part of the marketing. So yes, you're creating a live event, you're hooking up, people who are going to be obsessed and watch it live. But you're also going to get a YouTube event, a YouTube video that you can choose Hangouts on air, and you can upload that to the video and keep that going. And another thing I thought in terms of marketing, and a really important point, is to either get help. You can have a marketing strategy meeting with someone like Dreamtek, or you can just make sure and just be mindful that promoting it is going to get you results. Like Bar Raffaelli, she's a model and she's created her own line. I think we'll show the clip in a minute, but what she did is she did a preview sizzle reel saying, if you want to hang out with me, like this, add it on Google Plus, like it on YouTube, and the person who gets the most retweets or the most likes is going to get to join us on the Hangout. And that created a massive kind of social buzz around it, and her little sizzle reel actually got 60,000 views on YouTube. So yes, she's a big star, but I think having that kind of preemptive preparation for your Hangout is really going to make a big difference.
Hi, I'm Bar Raffaelli. On November 12th, I'll be hanging out on Google Plus with an exclusive interview and a preview to my new Under Me collection. Want to get a chance to join my Hangout? Then start to reshare this. People who will reshare the most will join my live interview. See you.
So, that's something I'd really, the first step is kind of marketing, and putting a little bit more effort into marketing your Hangout and thinking about why you want to do it, why you want to get a disparate group together, what do you want to do with the spontaneity of it. The second part is production. Now, I think this is a big element of Hangouts that lots of people don't always take in, and that's that this is basically a live TV production, and if you were filming that normally, you'd have a producer, you'd have a line manager, you'd have a production director, camera person, and it's taking those elements and just making sure that you're ready to do that. And Kashan, I've got a question for you. You're a technologist, but what do you think's the key to a Hangout success? Is it the actual kit you're using, or is it a production task?
It's kind of a combination of several factors, I think. There's obviously the kit, the location itself. So acoustics, lighting play a big part. You could have a relatively rubbish camera, even a webcam, but if your acoustics and lighting are good, it'll compete really well with a professional camera. Bandwidth is very important. That kind of goes without saying, but it's easy to ignore. Sometimes that's out of your control, because it's not something you can change overnight. But if you're kind of vetting people to come into a Hangout, that's something that you should definitely check out beforehand, if you can. A lot of the other kind of concerns would be the same as for a live broadcast anyway. If you were kind of, doing it for an actual terrestrial or satellite channel, you'd have those same concerns for the location that you're broadcasting from.
Yeah, I think the takeaway there is, you need to treat it, in the same way as you might treat, a professional broadcast. And what we've got on if you look at the dreamtek.tv website, you can download our Hangout services document, and that goes through our complete production workflow, which gives you an idea of the amount of work and preparation you wanted to do if you're putting on a hangout, whether it's vetting the people who are there. As you said, you want to check about connectivity. You effectively need to check the connectivity of 10 participants. You need to make sure that they're happy and they're going to have something to say, and you also need to just check they've got a Google Plus account. It's like really simple things sometimes that it's a lot of grunt work, but that's what you need to be mindful of. And the fact it's a free service means that a lot of people underestimate that there is a lot of work around it. Now, I've also got a few other questions for the guys. Josh, how would you say, in terms of that kind of, you're a producer, you've got a lot of technical experience. How does the Hangout fit into your, the technical production running of the show? Is it quite demanding? Have you sort of got on top of it now?
It's not demanding, actually. It's been quite painless for us, I'd say. I'll just echo what was being said there about the importance, really, of ensuring people have got good acoustics, they've got good, as best as possible webcam and decent lighting. For us, really, it just becomes a feed that we can take during our show. The sound is up, the sound is down, as if it was just someone sitting in the studio. When it works very well, and it has been a real asset for what we've been trying to do. I think maybe we thought it would be more demanding than it's proved to be. It hasn't been too much at all. It's just convincing people that it's not that hard to set up and get them on, and then you're away.
Have you got any other kind of plans for the Hangouts? Do you think you'll expand it to the other shows?
Yeah, I think that is what's got to be there eventually. Look, we're not the biggest sports TV station by any means, but amongst the audience that we have, they're starting to like it. They're starting to grow. Certainly, as we grow, I'd hope that the importance of Google Hangout will grow. Where if you have enough people that get familiar with Google Hangout and are keen to join in the debate, then it is a natural setting to hear from a variety of people on, say, one topic very quickly, and it's a lot easier than picking up one Skype call, putting it down, picking up, putting down, etc. So yeah, I hope it would become a more integral part of everything we do, really.
Patrick, your kind of customer base, I guess it's kind of really busy kind of professionals, and they might be quite involved in modern technology. Do you think social media and Hangouts, they sort of go hand in hand with your kind of service?
Because our concept is quite new, it requires that the people that are our customers have quite a curious a curiosity for new concepts. They're kind of early adopters, certainly in the first year of our growth. And so I think they'd have a tendency to move towards things like this. And yes, a lot of our customers, I'd say, the grand majority do fit within that bracket of about 25 to 35, 25 to 40. So yeah, they're pretty likely to use it, and the take up from the last one was very good, and it's definitely something that we want to do more of, because one of the biggest things for us, one of the most important things for us, is to be a brand that really does interact with our customers. We don't want to be a generic brand. We don't want to be seen like supermarkets. We want to be seen as a brand that really has personality and wants to get the customers involved, because food is not just some generic commodity product. It's something that's highly personal, and something that people should enjoy, and something that people should use to interact with each other. And so the idea of people hanging out and cooking is great. It's perfect for that.
I think the personality part is a really good point. I think it's one thing a Hangout has got, I think, that's very unique is the personal touch. It's the idea that you're going to hang out and, you know, connect with a brand or a person involved in a brand that little bit more and that little bit closer. And I think that is the kind of hook that a lot of, you know, people who are planning these pro Hangouts want to do. Cash, as well, I think, you know, we've covered a lot here, but one other bit of technologies I want to talk about is the Hangout box. It's something you've designed and it's something we've installed with Sports Night Live. And can you run through what actually the Hangout box is?
Well, the Hangout box was kind of just created as an interface between kind of normal broadcast equipment, if you like, and the Hangout, Google Hangouts. It's as simple as that, but there's obviously a lot more inside to kind of enable that process. And we have several versions. There are multi-channel versions, and there's a single channel version.
What I'd ask is, what can't you do with a Hangout box that a Hangout box can then enable you to do? You know,
well, just to be able to feed a professional quality feed into a Hangout. You know, pretty much, I think, what you're doing over there.
Absolutely. So you might notice there's slightly better quality cameras on this feed because I'm lucky enough to be using high definition cameras. You know, we're doing it in the studio. We're benefiting from the lights. But yeah, all of those things can then be fed into the Hangout using the Hangout box.
And also the fact that you can take an output from a professional switcher as well. So if, like with Sports Tonight, they already have a vision mixer, an audio mixer as well, and what we're just allowing them to do is feed that into a Hangout.
Great. Okay, well, what I want to do now really is just say thanks very much for joining. It's been really interesting talking about the marketing ideas and the ways people hook you in, and also, you know, the technology that's involved. As I said, there's the download on the website, dreamtek.tv, that shows our Hangout services and a guide to doing pro Hangouts. So take a look at that and that'll give you a really good idea. And, you know, I hope it's given you some food for thought and some, you know, desire to do a little bit more planning when you do your next Hangout.
Cheers.
Okay, thanks everyone.
Thanks, guys.
Cheers.